You're listening to the Midwest's Most Dangerous Podcast, Season 15, Episode 15. It's Lock Pod, Left of Center Podcast, coming to you live from the NECA IBW Power in Indiana Lake County Studios.
Good morning.
Morning. Hey, Linz.
I like that T-shirt.
Thank you.
What do you got there?
Taylor Swift shirt. I got it for Father's Day. What's up, Linz? You sleep last night? You sound very, very tired.
I did sleep last night.
You're like, oh,
I'm a little dysregulated. I got off 3/12s and tried to flip my sleep schedule. So.
Do you always work 12s?
Yeah.
Yeah?
How did the flipping work?
I sleep all day. I wake up for about 6 hours and then I go back to sleep.
Really?
And I take a nap around like 2 o'clock and I wake up at like 6 and then I'm set.
So staying awake all night's easy now, right?
Yeah, it's fine.
You've been over a year and a half doing it now, right?
A year.
But getting 8 hours is tough.
No.
No? You can get them.
During the day, yeah.
All right.
Dysregulated.
Cool talk. Yeah, good talk, guys.
What's
good
up,
talk.
Johnny?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Nothing. We have a good show for you.
That's a good way to start the show. Nothing's up.
Nothing. Yeah, man.
Everything
We're just gonna
is okay.
No, it's just a recap show, but we do have some sort of disturbing stuff to talk about in the second segment. We're going to talk about the Minnesota elected official situation. It's bueno.
Yeah, the whole episode's a big downer. I was looking at the notes the other day.
There's some happy things. Like, look at the,
look at the cats.
The cats,
right.
yeah.
Oh, yes.
So we pass up the cats pretty much the rest
We're
of the show.
We're going to start real high, and then it's just going to be like a
it's
downward slide.
It's just not a good
all
time
night
to be
or
like,
all
what are
day.
we supposed to talk about? I guess we can talk about cats the whole show.
We can talk about cats.
Right?
We're gonna
But
do
like, seriously, we're like on the verge of World War III. The country is completely torn apart, and now we have creepy ways to kill elected officials.
Yeah.
It's like
not a lot of great news over the weekend, I didn't think.
No, it's not great. And honestly, I'm a pessimist with the stock market, and I think that at any moment the stock market could fall 15%. It wouldn't shock me a bit. Wouldn't shock me a bit. And for those of you out there with your money sitting there in your 401k and you're not paying attention, you may want to start paying attention, because if the bad thing happens in the Middle East, if anything goes squirrely there, you're going to lose 15% overnight. You'll wake up and you'll be like, what? What's going on?
The thing is that, like, it's interesting, right? Because it just continues to ride up. And I guess maybe in my mind, I'm like, all right, well, if it goes down 50%, it's like, at least it's 15% of a number higher than I thought it was going to be when it dropped 50%.
It's irrational. Like, honestly, Kevin, like all weekend, it's like watching what's going on between Iran and Israel right now. It's like they're firing ballistic missiles back and forth, not nuclear, but they're just bombing each other, the hell out of each other. Tel Aviv's got missiles hitting the freaking ground.
Shocking.
I mean, can you imagine Chicago getting bombed? Like Tel Aviv is getting bombed right now. And I'm like, all weekend, I'm like, oh my God, the market's going to get rocked.
Well, no, I figured oil, prices going to go sky high.
But like Monday morning, I'm like watching all weekend, waiting for the markets to open. And the market's open and it goes up 1.5 points.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck is going on? Like, that's the thing, guys. When you see this, it's like, you're like, all right, I got another 1.5 points today. It's like, dude, this thing is so broken. It's so broken right now. So I don't know. So what's going on with you?
Well, I noticed that you and I, when we talked about baseball yesterday, you had a smile on your face.
Well, yeah, the White Sox got swept.
Not just swept, they've lost like more than
5 in a row.
Yeah.
So they're back on pace for me to win that bet. Because we came in here and Kevin was like, I'm on pace to win $50 from the mayor. They're on pace for like 63 wins right now, right?
That was a while ago.
And 63 wins would give him a record of 63-99, which means I would lose my bet because I said they'll lose 100 games this year. So Kevin is a White Sox fan until they get to the 63rd win.
Yeah, then I'm going right back to like, you mother.
So all season he's been rooting for the White Sox, which is truly annoying. Over $50, like he's selling his soul for $50.
No. I'm just rooting that they don't lose more than 100 games. I'm losing more so they don't lose more than 100 games, which is still a terrible record, by the way.
Yeah.
If they're 63-99, that's
if you get a
terrible
record of 162. If you're a baseball team, your record is 162.
Oh, 162,
they're like
right.
100 wins, 62 losses. People are like, that was an amazing team.
Yes.
That team will be one that's remembered for all time. And what are we talking about?
100-win season.
We're talking about the exact opposite.
Yes.
You're like truly exceptionally shitty if you're 62
you're
and 100.
36 games below 500.
Yeah, right. And like that's what we're hoping for. Like, because there's no doubt they're not going to be the worst team of all time.
I'm just trying
like
to win $50.
Hey, did you guys notice? Check this out, Linz. I know you're not a baseball fan, but
No.
this is funny for like for running organizations. It's a good rule of thumb, right? The Milwaukee Brewers have this pitcher The pitcher is, I forgot the guy's name, okay? But the pitcher is pissed off because he was taken out of the starting rotation and he was put into the bullpen, and he didn't like that, right?
Yep.
He didn't want to go.
Didn't want to go.
He's like, I'm a fucking starting pitcher. Don't be putting me in the bullpen. He has like a 6 ERA, by the way. It's shitty, okay? So they're like, oh, you don't want to fucking play ball anymore, huh? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, I want to be traded because you moved me to the bullpen. And they're like, okay. They traded him to the fucking White Sox like the next day. One of the worst teams in baseball. Say, how's that grabbing you there, big guy? You're a starting pitcher on one of the team last year set the mark for the worst team of all time. Enjoy your time in Chicago, buddy.
That's called getting what you wish for. Be careful what you wish for.
I love that shit. That's great.
Well,
it's sort of like what happened with the Red
I was
Sox.
just going to say with Rafael Devers, or Devers, forget how you pronounce his last name, but he was like, well, I'm not going to play first base. I'm a third baseman.
Right.
And he was just being and this guy, by the way, this guy is getting tens of millions of dollars a year to play.
$32 million a year.
And you're going to complain about where they want to play you?
Wow.
Yeah.
Has he? I mean, talk about losing perspective, right?
Yes, right. But then he goes to the Giants and says, I'll play any position you put me in.
Yeah, so.
He's like, I'll play first, I'll play third, I'll play outfield, I'll do whatever you want. That's sort of shitty.
Yep.
It is. He obviously is not a Red Sox fan anymore.
Yeah, that's crazy. So anyway, the White Sox are on pace for 52 wins. Real quick, another
Which
baseball.
is excellent. Which means Tom victory.
Tom wins with $50.
Are we allowed to gamble on the air, Kevin Smith? Have you?
This is
I
$50
think
bucks.
It's a friendly wager.
A friendly
We're
wager.
putting $50 right there in the middle of the table. We're gonna let you decide where that $50 came from
There you go.
when I snag it.
when you snag it, put it in your pocket.
Put it in my pocket.
Chad is saying Kevin's going to win the bet.
Get the hell out of here.
There must be a lot of White Sox fans
Two
out
good
there.
hell
White
outta here.
Sox fans here.
Too many White Sox
Chat
fans.
doesn't
in
know what the
chat.
heck it's talking about.
And there goes our viewers.
Yeah, start picking a fight with Chat.
I don't
Fuck
watch
you, Chat.
baseball.
Yeah, I'm gonna win that 50.
I don't need you.
There's the title.
I'm not a big baseball fan, but I
Ding,
was
ding, ding.
raised a staunch Cubs fan.
That's
Me
right,
too,
baby.
Linz.
That's right, baby.
I am Cubby
Would you
Blue
ever?
all the way.
Lindsay would never make $50 off the White Sox.
Well, unless it's their downfall, but
Which
no,
it is,
but,
either way.
Like
I mean,
my husband, when we were dating, did not reveal that he was raised in a White Sox
Ooh.
house for
Yeah.
like a year.
That
And by
would've-
that point, I was in too deep. So
there
I
you
was
go.
in
You couldn't-
too
you
deep.
couldn't-
I'm in too deep.
Maybe that's the title. That could be the title too.
I'm in
we
too
had an
deep.
apartment together. Like
Sox fan? Question mark. I'm in too deep
Quiet
to bail.
One last interesting baseball story that we heard yesterday. The starting pitcher for the Milwaukee Brewers today,
Yeah.
his name is Chad Patrick. He played for Purdue Northwest.
He played for Coach
D2.
Dave. Like a season or two after I left.
Yeah.
This guy from Hebron comes in, Chad Patrick. He was a great pitcher, and he just dominated. And then he gets drafted, and we were all happy that he got drafted because D2, you don't get drafted very
Right.
often. And he just flies through the system. And he's been starting all season, which is another reason the Brewers probably put that shitty pitcher into the bullpen because they
been.
have this young stud that's kicking ass from Purdue Northwest,
So
by the way.
he's pitching against the Cubs tonight.
Today.
He's a local guy, local kid.
I love it.
Made
I
it
love
big.
it. I hope he gets shelled. So why do you
Yes.
keep on adjusting the...
Because if it goes black,
Oh,
I need to-
I was
yeah,
like,
I'm
I thought you were
just
telling
touch-
me
No,
something.
just touch the screen so it doesn't
I
go
thought
black.
you were
Tom's
telling me
using my
something.
iPad today.
Yeah, I'm using Kevin's iPad.
Are you going to
today.
do that the whole show?
I was
No,
like, is he
I-
telling me something?
as long
like,
as he's
I
gonna
thought
do
he's
it-
like, stick to the script, dickhead. I thought that's what he was saying to me. He's like pointing right here.
He set a
I'm like, I
timer.
know. I covered the cats already.
Well, because he flipped it around to me once, and I had to reset it.
we
so I just
haven't
wanted to
covered the
remind him.
cats.
All right.
Actually, you
What's the-
mentioned it, but then we
So-
got talking about the stock market. I don't know
I'm
how
a-
that worked.
I'm generally a dog person, okay? I am a dog person. We had one cat when I was a kid. It was okay.
Okay, you're just okay too.
But thank you. But you get okay. So what's happening right now in my house is there are some feral cats, a mom, and 4 kittens.
Oh my
Here's
goodness.
a picture of the kittens.
They're so
cute.
This is from this morning.
oh
Sitting
my
on.
god, they're so cute.
I
I
know.
don't even like cats.
It's kind of same, right? But
Okay.
how do you say no to
Oh my-
these guys? What am I supposed to do?
Put milk out.
yeah,
Oh,
give them.
but then they're not going to leave.
I know. It's all right. They're not in your house. What's the
Kevin,
big
I
deal?
don't think these all came from the same.
Yes, because the
Litter.
mom hangs with them and they
What
live
color is the mom?
calico.
Calico is
Yes.
what?
That'll
that-
do it.
Yes.
Okay, that's
Calico
the
is
only
the
way
crazy
it would
looking
work.
color in there.
Yeah, like
Calico
orange,
is like-
black, white.
It's the one
She's
with
got
all
a-
the different
yeah,
stripes.
it's a
all
usually
the
a female
DNA.
cat that has a combination of like all the color.
Really?
patterns.
Yes.
So
That's really cool, Kevin. I
So
don't think
these
that's a problem.
cats.
That's
well,
actually kind of a cool cat to own. You should take the mom in.
well, the mom's there too. They live under the porch, and so what I'm trying to figure out is how to trap them, get them spayed and neutered, and then I'll let them come back. But I just don't want 4 cats to turn into 50 cats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus,
That's-
it's like incest. They'll be having sex with each
Well,
other.
I
You
think
don't
that's what
want that.
happens with
An
feral
animal.
cats, and it's
I know,
dangerous
dude. They'll be
so,
all
for them.
banging
That
each
is
other,
a hell
having
of
like
a job
deformed
for you, Dad.
kittens.
That's
What's that?
crazy.
But if you have, Actually, Rob Bunner gave me a name of a place that I think I'm going to try to get to trap them and return.
It's called
them,
Hammond Animal Control.
No. So, but anyway, if you have any ideas on my cat problem, here's what they are. They're really cute, and they were hanging. I walked down the deck today, and this is what they were doing.
They're so
Just
cute.
hanging.
They're so
All
cute.
right.
Love it. This is the only time you're going to ever see me in this shirt. Marissa got it for me for Father's Day.
What?
In my Papa
Dad,
era.
your attention span is like 3 seconds today. It's insane.
I'm ADD. Don't be making fun of me on the air.
You should get some help for that.
I know, dude. It's like if I
Why
had
is
one,
this the only time?
If I had one arm, you wouldn't be like, dude, you have one arm. Like you wouldn't say that, right? But you're like blasting out my ADD in front of the whole world.
It's
What's
almost
up?
like a HIPAA violation.
I would say
It
that,
is
dude,
like
you
a
have
HIPAA
one
She's a
arm.
nurse.
She's a fucking nurse, dude. No shit.
I would say, dude, you have one arm if you're trying to do something with 2 hands. Okay, like
Well, you
You
would
would
be able
say
to
that
do
on
that.
air.
you need to
You would say
understand
that
your
on air.
limitations.
You would say that?
Yes.
You would? You're like, Dad, don't pick up that coffee. You don't have the right arm,
You
right?
pick up
wouldn't say
coffee
that.
with 2 hands,
You pick
dude.
up your coffee with 2
Come
hands.
on.
It's too hot. You have that
Wait,
handle. Wait,
so
so
yeah.
why only one time with his shirt?
Because, I mean, it's a great shirt. Okay? It's a Taylor Swift shirt, and I
Okay.
love it. Marissa got it for me.
Why is it a Taylor
She was
Swift
super-
shirt? It has like
it's
Dude,
lightning.
are
his
you a
era.
fan at all? Are you a
Eras.
fan at all? Are you a fan at all?
Just because the
These
word
shirts
era
will-
is on it?
This shirt is like a Taylor Swift shirt. It's
Okay.
like the font, the
Oh,
colors.
all
the whole
right,
thing.
all right.
It's
all
like
right.
a Taylor
I
Swift
guess I
shirt,
didn't know
right?
that.
I know.
I thought
dude,
the
what's
lightning
up?
was Grateful
Freaking
Dead.
poser.
I thought you were a Taylor Swift fan, dude.
I
So
mean, I
anyway,
like Taylor
Marissa
Swift.
gets me the Taylor Swift
like I
shirt,
like the
which is
White
awesome,
Sox.
by the way. I love that, right? But and it says in my Papa era.
Okay.
Papa though. It's like, dude, how the hell am I going to wear
Like
this?
Grandpapa?
We already determined I'm like the youngest grandpa in America, one of the cooler ones. I can't be
One of the
walking
cooler
around
ones.
with
The
a freaking
youngest?
I don't think
Okay.
youngest.
one of the cooler young papas in America.
Okay.
Right?
Whatever.
And I can't be walking around advertising it. I mean, if you know me, you know, and it's like, yeah, can you believe that guy's a fucking grandpa, right? But I can't wear this shirt in public. Like, I go walking through the freaking grocery store, people are like, he's a grandpa? Right? It doesn't work.
mean,
John, back me up.
There are
Am I
younger
crazy?
grandpas.
Yeah, no, you're not crazy.
Okay,
you, John.
so I
Yeah.
tried to explain to Marissa why he was offended a little bit by this shirt.
Not offended. I was
Okay,
just like,
no,
I'll wear
like-
it on
I didn't know
lockbox.
you were
He was-
offended.
Not offended.
Okay, so that's the wrong word then. Fine.
Get in chat,
Whatever
Marissa.
word you
Defend
choose to
yourself.
use.
Oh, God.
But so when I was an itty bitty baby and I was learning to talk and call people names, Dad told me to call my Tom Senior Papa because
It sounded old.
it made him sound older than he was. And
So now you're getting it back.
it was kind
I
of
don't
like a
mind
joke.
being called Papa. I'm not going to wear it in like, this is like 50 font.
Everything
It's
Tom
not
wears
even
now,
like no-
John says Papa. All his T-shirts are now
No.
Grandpa shirts.
Number one, Papa.
Number one Papa. It's annoying.
So Dad, what would you prefer to be called by the child?
I don't blast it on the front page.
What do you
right?
wanna
How
be
about
named?
this? I'm a mayor. I
love
don't
how
blast
Tom's
like
chest is now
mayor,
front page.
like a mayor across. I
Oh,
wouldn't do
okay.
that
Only on
either.
2
For the
and 9
record.
day.
Okay.
So
I don't even do that. I
You
got
want
the top
you want
hat on.
Charlie to call you mayor then?
No,
Got it.
Charlie can call me whatever he wants. He can call me whatever he wants.
What would you prefer?
I'll prefer Papa. Okay, but
Okay.
that's Charlie,
Hell yeah.
dude. I'm not wearing it in freaking Myers. Walking around with Papa on my shirt.
I didn't know
shopping.
Papa was a
Dude.
word for grandpa.
It
In
is,
our
'cause it
family, it
sounds
is.
old.
Some
It
people
is.
call their dad
Yeah.
Papa
Pappy. No,
Papa.
that's too old.
Pappy.
Pappy's too old.
because we call Dad's dad Papa. So
yeah.
Yo, chat, can we get Papa in chat? Write it out. Come on. Call Tom Papa.
Call me Papa.
Congratulations, Papa.
Call me Papa.
That's it. All
Better
well,
than
that's-
Pooh
title.
So in other words, get a good look at this shirt. It's the only time you're going to see it on the podcast.
If anybody wants it, it'll be available.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
It's already
I
getting
don't know.
Wow.
sold.
Marissa will kill me. Never mind. I love this
This
shirt. I
is
do
one of
love
those-
this shirt.
This is going to be one of those
If
shows.
when next Taylor Swift concert, I'll wear it there.
All
for
right,
sure.
so Saturday.
Is next Taylor? Oh, I could wear it Saturday.
There you go.
Speaking of,
Yes.
we have a concert series coming up. We were
It's in
going
the
to,
middle of it.
yeah, Taylor Swift on June 21st. The PAV Summer Concert Series has Swift Nation, a tribute to Taylor Swift. Is that normal? Is it a nighttime show, Kevin?
Yeah, so the gates open at 6. Show starts at 7. The one this last weekend, which John's got a clip on, they usually end around 9. And,
Yeah.
And
There's
so
going to be a lot of little girls, I imagine.
I would say, or Swifties.
Swifties.
So
So if you like little girls, come on
Dude,
out. to the
Jesus
pa-
Christ.
What the hell was that?
I'm saying the little girls are typically Taylor Swift fans.
yeah,
I
I
hate
was
to
gonna
break it to you guys.
I was just
right?
gonna say, like, it's a great atmosphere for family. It's okay. Free admission. You can bring your own beer, bring your own
Yes.
BYOB, bring your own food. There's
By the
picnic
way,
tables.
you had a great
there's-
idea about the picnic tables.
Yeah, those should be premium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Ooh.
that's what they do it with. I mean,
I
just go to
agree.
Adrian
Good
Santos's. You buy a picnic table, and then like you get served at the picnic table, and that's your picnic table.
I talked to Raquel about that, and she's going to start working on that.
I think
So-
that's a great thing to work on, considering we have hundreds of picnic tables. We could make a couple bucks
But
during Swift Nation.
Yeah, absolutely. And last week, Tom and I both went to our Secondhand News, which was a tribute to Fleetwood Mac. They were really good. They
John,
had
could you play a
really
clip of
good
that?
crowd?
Absolutely.
By the way, they're from Chicago. They did the whole. They were dressed up in the '70s gear. They sounded really good. I was a fan.
Yeah, this is from the side.
This is just a
but
clip
it's
from it.
Really good.
Nice. They sound
Ooh, that was right.
great.
That was right at
great.
the chorus. Yeah.
Epic.
That was
huh?
great.
Nice.
Really good.
Dude,
I mean,
they
they
were
were
Honestly,
solid.
I love Fleetwood Mac so much.
How could you not? I know.
There was a good 600 plus people there, which I thought, like, we've had sometimes we have concerts where there aren't a lot
Yeah.
of people. This was a really good,
We're
it was a
getting
beautiful
better
night.
because we're like focusing now. We're like focused. We have our flyer we put out. We were advertising it on the show here. We're advertising it across the city. It's a free venue.
Free parking,
You can
free
bring booze
admission.
there. By the way, in 2 weeks, June 28th.
So wait, this week is who? Swift Nation.
Right.
Okay.
2 weeks, High Rider.
Ooh.
A tribute to Grateful Dead.
If you have not seen them, they were there
They're
last year.
awesome.
They are phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
And then
really, really good.
August 9th, Echoes of Pompeii, tribute to Pink Floyd.
Hey,
Yeah.
I know a lot of those band members. They're
All
cool
right.
guys.
You better be there.
August 16th, Rico, a tribute to Santana. August 23rd, Trippin' Billy's, tribute to Dave Matthews Band. September 6th, Sinatra Forever, salute to Frank Sinatra. September 13th, Bonfire, tribute to AC/DC.
And by the way, they have opened for AC/DC. They
Yeah.
just did at Soldier Field.
And last but not least, Shining Star. It's on September 20th.
Yep.
20th, Shining Star, tribute to Earth, Wind, and Fire.
So many tribute bands. I didn't realize we had so many here.
Yeah, but they're not local, babe. They're
Oh, we're outsourcing.
oh yeah, like Bonfires from like the Midwest,
Mm-hmm.
right? Echoes of Pompeii, they tour all over the Midwest at least.
High
right?
Riders from Indy.
Trippin' Billy's, High Riders from Indy, Trippin' Billy's. I'm not sure what this lady from Taylor Nation's coming from, but these are like touring. Like the price for a band like this, to give you an idea. Like if you wanted to get a local band to play locally, it's probably a couple grand, right, Kev?
Sure, $1,500. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
$1,500
Yep.
bucks, something like that, for like a local, well-organized local band, right? Like these are more like 10,000
Yeah, somewhere in
in
the
that
5 to
ballpark,
10,000 range.
right?
yeah.
In that ballpark, and some of them, like I would imagine, and I didn't book these, but Bonfire, that's legit, man. That's going to be solid. They have touring
Yes.
mechanisms.
The
basically.
Sinatra Forever guy, I think he comes from Vegas,
Dude,
doesn't he?
Sinatra Forever's packed.
Yeah.
Earth, Wind, and Fire, packed.
Phenomenal last
These
year.
are
This
like
is a
top
repeat.
notch.
Yeah, the ones that are repeats are Trippin' Billy's, Shining Star, Sinatra
Rider.
Forever, and High Rider. And Bonfire, we had it to in 9 days. So these are all phenomenal
Dude,
bands.
Like if you're fans of this band, you should go because these are like some of the best artists that cover them.
Yep, free
So-
by the way, free.
Free.
Wolf Lake Pavilion.
And, we don't really walk out there and check what's going on either. You know what I'm saying?
We were
Okay.
over the week.
What? Like, I'm just saying, like, if you want to enjoy yourself, like,
That's right.
We're
You
not
need
gonna,
to
like,
get
walk
yourself
around.
some twirling room.
we're not going to, like, go through your picnic baskets. That's all I'm saying. Okay?
That is great.
It
I
is.
love
We're-
that
unless-
policy.
Right. But, like, we're checking for weapons
Sure.
and stuff
Yeah,
like that,
please
right?
don't bring
But if, like,
weapons.
I'm not going to be like, what kind of gummies are those? You know what I'm saying? All right? If you got gummies, you can take vitamin gummies.
We started
whatever.
subtle
just
and we got
Swedish
more
fish.
and more aggressive.
Swedish
about it.
fish.
That's all they are.
They're Swedish fish.
I never forget
Don't
to
eat too
bring
many
my-
of them. What's
Swedish
that?
fish.
I never forget to bring my vitamin gummies to a concert.
I know, dude, because you'll get drained during that show.
You could,
I know.
but we're not going to test them.
Hey, by the way, the only thing Marissa has put in chat
Oh, boy.
is the word So
Oh.
I think you're going to have a
Good
luck,
conversation
luck, dude.
later.
No,
luck.
she's fine.
Um,
She was gardening when I left.
speaking of,
She's probably just got dirty hands.
This is one of those episodes where you screwed up, Tom.
I probably did, but like it was unintentional. It's like malice is not present. You know.
there you go. You're just commenting. So it's on
I'm
your,
just talking, man. Fuck. Let's just fucking enjoy ourselves here and like
Tom and I went to a great dinner on Friday down in Indianapolis. It was a state party dinner. And Tom was actually one of the sponsors, which was cool.
I didn't know that.
Well,
I saw this on the board.
Yeah, look.
I'm like, what the fuck? Lindsay, did you know about this? Treasurer? That looks expensive, right? Program sponsor? I'm like, what the fuck, man?
Let's just say I made a deal.
Uh-huh.
Right,
I didn't pay a check.
Okay.
So
let's
I
just
don't
say I
know.
made a deal.
That was
our
credit
friends.
card. That was a credit card.
I did.
Kevin,
use the
what
credit
did you
card.
do for
I
us?
know. I
You'll
walked
get the
in.
bill
I'm like,
later,
I don't
Liz. Don't
remember.
worry about it.
I don't remember
no
being a
money
program
left my
sponsor.
hands.
Yeah.
Kevin's like offering favors or something.
I made a deal.
It looked expensive. That's all I know.
But it was real
nice
nice.
because we were like going in. We had 4 people. We were like rolling with 4.
Yep.
And then I see my logo as a program sponsor. And last time I
That's
did that, it
great.
cost me like $5,000.
Honestly,
we got a
like
deal.
when would we use that logo? It's kind of an older.
No,
one.
that's the one we used last time. Actually,
I'm busting
Yeah.
that fucking
Yep.
logo back out.
Yep.
You know why? We never lost with that goddamn logo, and then we started fucking around with other logos, and I started losing.
All right.
I'm going back to Old
good
Faithful.
point.
I
Old school.
I don't give a fuck what the consultants say. That's
The-
my goddamn logo.
The really
Yeah,
cool.
Kevin, fuck you.
you got it? No, seriously, fuck the
Wait,
consultants.
I was the.
They're like the consultants
Excuse
talked me out of my
Lindsay.
freaking logo.
I was the campaign manager when this logo started. So
That's right.
Thank you very
They
much.
talked
Sorry,
me out of
I
my
probably in
consider
grade,
you a
You're probably in
consultant.
grade school. You consider me a consultant.
John, did I get talked out of my logo? I did.
You
They're
did.
like, this logo is too
Yeah.
aggressive, Mayor. You need the pussified version of the logo.
The what?
Because you heard me. They did. They were like, you can't have a boxing glove. You'll offend Hoosiers. And then Hoosiers voted for Donald Trump. Like, they're not easily offended people. I'm
Right.
going with the
Coming
boxing
back.
glove. I don't give a shit what the consultants
Courtesy
say.
of Mark Anderson. Great.
Yeah,
Coming back.
that's my logo.
Yeah.
Tom McDermott's campaign logo.
One of the cool things about the event was saw a lot of old friends and folks we hadn't seen in a while. I thought it was really good. Tom was. Oh, there's me with the
Look
last.
at this.
I mean,
that's a good
like,
picture, by the way. I
that's,
like it. You
I
look
li-
like a senator sandwich.
Wow. Yeah, this is actually pretty cool. So it's me, Evan Bayh, and Joe Donnelly asked him for a photo. Last 2 Democratic U.S. senators in the state of Indiana.
That's a
They're
good
both
picture,
there.
Kev. You should
Thank
keep.
you.
You're gonna put that one on the wall.
I am going to put that on the wall.
You should. That's a good
Totally.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're all drinking. You're all like drinking and
Yeah.
like, like, we're drinking together.
Smoke-filled
This is
room
what we
of
do.
Democratic
Kevin's
politics.
comfortably buzzed.
I
right
think
now.
Senator Bayh just had an umbrella in his hand, but the
It's all right.
yeah.
I was wondering about that. By the way, it wasn't a rainy day.
What?
It wasn't, dude. I was like, why the fuck does he have an umbrella? Maybe it's for protection. You
Who
know?
knows? But the other cool
It
thing
wasn't
was,
raining,
It's
though.
one of those
it
umbrellas
was
in
threatening.
disguise.
Threatening.
I walked there.
No,
It
it was
was
threatening. They canceled the outdoor party for the Pacers because they thought it was going to rain.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was threatening.
Okay,
Maybe it's
but-
like one of those umbrellas that has like a knife in it.
He comes prepared.
That's right. If it's got a knife in it, I forgive him.
There you go.
By the way, it's good to see Evan by. I haven't
was
seen
good.
him in a couple. I haven't seen Joe in a couple. He was off in the Vatican.
Yeah.
So I like to get Joe and Evan back in town. It's a nice thing to see.
And
So I didn't get a picture with him like that. I was too busy schmoozing.
I was going to say Tom was
I think I was literally, that's Mayor Sharon right to Evan By's
right
well,
or his
in the
left or
picture.
right.
Right.
yeah.
That's Mayor Sharon. She's the mayor of Fort Wayne. And
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to her literally as Kevin was taking that picture.
So the cool thing about this, I thought for Tom was he saw a lot of folks that we saw on the trail in 22 that he probably hasn't seen in a little bit,
Yeah.
and Tom was in high demand. When he said he was schmoozing and shaking hands, he was, because there were a lot of people coming up to him, asking him what he was up to, how he's doing, how's everything going in
Kevin,
Hammond.
I have a feeling at all times people hate me. I literally walk around thinking everybody hates me or everybody's mad at me. So
Me
when
too.
ya?
It's genetic.
well, good. Well, that's something going on in our head. But but like when I walk into that room, I'm expecting everybody to be mean to me, and I'm shocked truly when people are like, "Oh my god!" Hey. I'm like, "Wow, okay."
It's nice, right?
Because like you know what it is. I guarantee you, because I've talked to other elected officials about this. It's like when you're an elected official, all you hear is shit.
Oh, the negatives, right?
Negative. People are just throwing negative shit at you all the time, and you're just getting hammered by negative. So when somebody's actually freaking nice to me, it's like, what? Like, what are you doing? What do you want?
Well, it's interesting because we see this a lot of times with issues, right? Where you'll have the noisy complaining, but the reality is they're a very small group, and the majority is like, hey, everything's good. We're good. I like this project. We're not going to,
True story.
I'm just going to go on with my day because the mayor's going to make sure the project gets done. And then they're not out there, cheerleading for
Yeah,
it,
that's a
which
good
is
point.
fine. That's just, I think it's human nature.
This is a weird turn in the first segment we're going to take here, but I saw something last night, and it's definitely something we've been tracking on LockPod, and it's coming from Abdul Shabazz, multi-time guest on LockPod. He's also, as we all know, he has his own show down there in Indianapolis, widely followed show. He's also definitely a media personality down there, and Gabe Whitley and
What's
him.
that name of his
The cheat sheet.
Oh, the cheat sheet and the Indie Politics or Capital Chronicles. Any of
Yeah.
those? Cheat sheet. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, Gabe Whitley, who if you'll remember Gabe, we've covered him multiple times on the show. Gabe Whitley was a candidate for Congress, but before all that, Tom McDermott. He was aggressively coming after me at the time because I was fighting with a Trump supporter in the city of Hammond over a "fuck you" flag. That's what started this whole thing. Gabe Whitley takes notice. It was a big story. Imagine a guy across the country. Gabe Whitley's from Southern Indiana, and he took exception to the fact that I wanted this Trump supporter to pull down a sign that said "fuck Biden" on it across the street from a park. So Gabe Whitley decides to put together a Trump train from Southern Indiana, and they drove from Evansville, Indiana area, which is a 5-hour drive. They drove all the way to Hammond. They staged in Cabela's parking lot, drove in front of my house, and then they got back in their car and
It
they
was
drove.
awesome.
They drove all the way home, and we made a party out of it. I invited everybody in my house. We had beer and stuff. We were sitting in the driveway, filmed a Lockpod episode.
And I waved at them for an hour.
It was wonderful.
And it
We
was
should have
really
given them-
nice.
It was no hour, Linz. It was probably 15
Yeah.
seconds.
minutes.
They literally had let's call it 40 cars, right?
At most.
No way.
I
It
was
was
gonna
like
say
10.
10.
Okay. So then they turned around and they drove home, right?
Yeah.
And
It
that was our
awesome.
and that was our interaction with Gabe Whitley. We took a negative. They were trying to intimidate us,
Yep.
and we fucking laughingly turned it in their face.
And turning it into the most watched episode / vlog of Lockpod's history.
of all time.
Yeah.
We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
At all time.
Very
It was
fun.
the most
Time.
widely watched vlog in history, actually.
I had so much fun.
So
was fun.
Gabe Whitley, we've obviously kept, Gabe ran for Congress and lost, and he did multiple things. And then he starts fighting with Abdul. Abdul's our buddy.
Switched from Trump to DeSantis. Yeah, he did all these.
So we're
crazy
like
things.
following this guy, and then he starts fighting with one of our friends. And of course, we're taking interest. We've had Abdul on the show a couple times. So this morning, this pops up. And the thing, it's sad. I'm not making fun, okay? Because at 2 p.m. today, Gabe Whitley is checking in to a federal penitentiary for... Let's just go through this. Convicted former congressional candidate Gabriel Whitley will spend much of the summer not on the campaign trail, but behind bars at a federal minimum security prison in Illinois. Whitley, who ran for Indiana's 7th congressional district in the 2024 Democratic primary, was convicted earlier this year of filing false campaign finance reports. According to federal court records, Whitley's misleading disclosures about political donations and spending resulted in a 90-day prison sentence and a 1 year of probation. His destination, the Federal Correction Institution in Thompson, Illinois, a low-level federal prison tucked away in the northwest corner of the state, roughly 150 miles away from Chicago. So
He's got to surrender today by 2 p.m. And
do you think he's listening to Lockpod on the way?
I don't think he's listening. He's probably getting himself
I'm not.
ready.
I'm not celebrating. This
No,
sucks.
no.
I hate when I watch people go to prison. I hate it. It's just sad for me. It's sad for everybody.
Well, it's preventable too. Like,
yeah, I mean, no,
it's
this
not-
guy's
I agree with
crazy.
you, Lindsay.
This
I
guy's
mean,
crazy.
That's the issue, right? I mean,
He
I
did
mean,
this
I
to himself.
I do
Right.
the thing that he did, and he did it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that hard to do, I think. And
You're right.
So I don't think there's an excuse like, oh, I didn't know.
Right.
I think it's more of a he was either lazy or he was malicious at it.
I think totally. I think the latter. It's just like what's the congressman's name that's going to federal prison?
Santos.
Yeah, Santos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just like Santos. I mean, this guy's like a
try to inflate what he.
right, but he's like dumber than Santos. Santos was way more of a mastermind than this guy. He was trying to do the same kind of stuff though, making up donors, making up expenses, not reporting income,
And by the way, he's also on pretrial release in Marion County for a felony intimidation charge regarding, I think.
And he
so
and he
that's
tore
going
off
on.
his ankle monitor.
Yes.
and left the
so. This
state.
guy's just an idiot.
So
He's
he's
a-
not changing.
No,
Like,
he's
he's
like
not
willful.
showing-
He's
Like-
willfully
Oh, boy.
violating
No
the law.
remorse.
No remorse. He tore off his ankle monitor, Lindsay, and he's gonna play dumb. Like, what? I can't tear off my ankle monitor? No, you fucking moron.
That sounded
It's an
like
ankle
Gabe.
monitor. No, he like that's the thing. He plays dumb, and this is the guy who ran for Congress. And by the way, there's some dumbasses in Congress that are just like this guy, and they were successful. I'll guarantee you, multiple just
Yeah,
dumbasses
for sure.
in
Yes,
Congress.
many.
They were just
Several.
successful, and they pulled the wool over the voters' eyes. So, all right, why don't we go ahead and call it a first segment? We'll come back. We're going to talk about. We got some new information we're going to cover on Lockpod in regards to the Minnesota elected officials' targeted assassination. It's really disturbing stuff, and pictures of the assassin going to the doors, like just scary shit.
Talk about premeditated.
This is not good. I mean, it's stuff that we have to cover. Obviously, it's what's going on in the world. So, come back and we'll talk about that. And then in the third segment, we got some really cool videos,
Updates.
updates, and just it will keep you entertained. I promise
Yes.
you. So,
Trump parade, all kinds of things.
Powering Indiana Lake County, our premier and studio sponsor. Powering Indiana Lake County is your source for the region's most trusted electricians. At Powering Indiana Lake County, we set the standard for excellence in electrical work. As IBEW Local 697 electrical contractors, we ensure safety, reliability, and quality for Northwest Indiana corporations, businesses, and homes alike. But our mission goes beyond the job site. We're creating a brighter future for the region we proudly serve. Powering Indiana Lake County, bringing excellence to the job, creating a brighter future for our community. Find the right electrical contractor at poweringindiana.org.
MCR Partners is your one-stop destination for top-notch expertise in economic development, finance, and planning. With a dedicated team geared up to tackle your projects head-on, they're your go-to comprehensive solution providers. Dive into the world of economic development with MCR Partners and let them guide you through the maze of opportunities. Stay in the loop and connected by hitting up their website at mcrpartnersllc.com. That's mcrpartnersllc.com. Or for tailored assistance, don't hesitate to reach out to Matt Reardon at 219-741-9511.
Tortilla Nueva Leon is the gold standard of Mexican cuisine across the Midwest. Look for Tortilla Nueva Leon's popular red and white label at your local grocery store and enjoy quality Mexican products made with local expertise.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia, de todo corazón.
Yikes.
Elevate your brand with Misprint, the premier printing and sign solution in Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana. With a 30-year legacy of excellence, their experienced team, led by Rick Baltensberger, combines innovation and technology to deliver top-quality signs and printing, always on time and within budget. Conveniently located in Munster and Hammond, Misprint is your partner for creating impactful visual solutions that leave a lasting impression. Visit them at misprintusa.com to bring your vision to life today.
Cantrell and Cantrell, attorneys at law. Are you injured or in trouble with the law? Give Cantrell and Cantrell a call and schedule your consultation with someone who's in court and at the jail every day. Call John Cantrell at 219-5544-LAW or visit them at their website at bettercallcantrell.com. John and his wife, Kristen, make a great team and are waiting to hear from you.
The Bug Guys Pest Control. Firefighter owned, pest destroying professionals. We don't just fight fires, we fight bugs with bad attitudes. We bring justice to creepy crawlers. No contracts, no mercy, just bug busting, home protecting, creepy crawly crushing service. Serving all of Northwest Indiana. Call Brian with a Y or Craig with an I today for your free estimate. 219-810-7481. The Bug Guys, making your house a no-fly zone since now.
That's awesome.
Great. Good work, boys.
I love it.
That was great, Brian and Craig. Good ad.
Yeah.
New ad for the Bug Guys.
That is funny, man.
They're on it.
Yeah.
John, were the Bug Guys effective at your place?
They were great. They came
Yeah.
out last week.
Brian texted me, I got to get you scheduled.
Yeah.
So
You know what? I got ant situation.
I do too, currently.
Marissa, and I don't, it's funny. I don't really care about ants.
I do. They drive me nuts.
I think
Oh,
it's,
Brian will lose his
No,
mind.
Really?
I saw
cannot.
one.
I
that's how
cannot.
Marissa does not like ants.
Yeah,
around.
yeah. Yeah.
Really? That's
Yeah.
funny,
Call
man.
the bug guy.
Call
I'm
the
gonna
Bug
call
Guys.
the Bug
Bug
Guys.
Guys,
Bug
John.
I'm going to call the Bug Guys. All right.
John did.
Yep.
This is weird, scary shit that we're about to talk about. Minnesota elected officials targeted in assassination. Gunman caught after a 2-day manhunt. Stuff of nightmares. You know those really realistic masks that you could pull over your head? I see them on TikTok a lot where you could literally change your complexion completely. This guy had one of them, and it was like an old man mask he pulled on, and he pulled it over his head. And what he would do is walk up to the doors of elected officials at like 2 or 3 in the morning. He'd pound on their door. He has a security business on the side, so he has realistic-looking SUVs, okay, and with police lights, by the way. He also slapped a license plate that said police on there, so he was going full commando mode at this point. The elected officials would answer the door, and he'd shine a flashlight right in their eyes. And, of course, they're just waking up. Everything's dark. This guy's shining a flashlight right in their eyes and then proceeded to attempt assassination. He succeeded with the Speaker of the House, Minnesota.
Yeah, former.
But the minority leader, excuse me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he killed her husband, and their dog. And by the way, they had their family in the house while this happened. It's just horrifying. He also attempted to kill another elected official and his wife, and they actually called him out and said, "You're not a cop," because he had a mask on. They saw it. And then he shot them.
8 times, I heard.
Right. And then the Minnesota law enforcement was so, like, on their game. if they weren't thinking ahead, they noticed a pattern. Obviously, this is 2 elected officials that have been targeted in the middle of the night, and they started checking on their local elected officials. And while they were doing that, they discovered the assassin in the act at one of the locations, and basically they foiled the whole thing.
Well, yeah, foiled the whole thing, but unfortunately at that location, that's where actually the murder
took
occurred.
place,
Yeah.
right.
So the crazy thing that I read, I mean, the whole thing's crazy, I should say, but 4 different places he visited that evening. He was two for 4. I mean, terrible result that happened up there, and just really scary. I mean, if you read what the acting U.S. attorney up in Minnesota near this area, when he gave his press conference, this guy had AR-15s, assault rifles in his car, a bunch of ammo, a list. He had a list with notes. It's so detailed. The notes were detailed to the point, like, you know, the people that were murdered, the state representative and her husband. It even said, like,
big house off golf course
correct.
with 2 ways in to watch from one spot, the affidavit said. Just notes like that. He stalked him.
Husband
like,
Mark, like, had the names.
Stalked him like prey.
Yeah, it was really, really, really detailed.
So he would go up and say, Mark, is that you? Yeah. You know, and then he'd say, are you so-and-so? Yes. Bam, bam. Wow.
Yep. Like married Mark, 2 children, 11th term. That's what his notebook said. Yeah, it's just.
What's this guy's deal? Do we know anything yet?
He's I mean, I'm not going to, because like the big thing is he a Trump supporter, right? I don't give a fuck. He's a psycho, okay? But he is very religious, anti-abortion. He doesn't really say anything local, but I guess he went on some trip to the Congo where he was out there preaching and proselytizing, and that's when it was really coming out how he's anti-abortion in a big way, and basically.
So early on, like, I was reading some stuff, and it's interesting because the right is trying. I mean, and some of the stuff that I've seen is really disgusting. I can point to Senator Mike Lee probably as one of them. But
what do you mean?
Just he went on Twitter and basically said when Marxists don't get their way, and had a photo, and he said something about, like, he was another tweet that he posted. It was just really, really in bad taste, I thought, especially for someone like a U.S. senator when you're an elected official and you have fellow elected officials getting basically murdered for political views, right?
Wait, he was saying he's a Democrat or something?
Yeah, basically saying, like, or whatever, just kind of like taking it on, making it, right?
He made it sound like the assassin was a Democrat.
Correct.
But that turned out to be not true.
I don't even know, right?
No,
like,
I mean, if you believe what I read this morning.
Well, like
what I read this morning is, not that it matters.
I agree with you.
Not that it matters, but what I read this morning, he was hard right. He was religious, hardcore right-winger that was like anti-abortion.
And so early on, it was all the tweets I was seeing was like, oh, look, this guy, Governor Walz appointed him to this commission. Right. And so
he
it's
was
like,
reappointed. He was appointed by the previous governor and reappointed. Not that it matters, but
it doesn't matter.
By the way, I have people that work for me that do horrible things.
Yep.
It doesn't mean I sponsored their horrible actions,
not only that,
right?
think about this.
You have people that work for you.
As mayor, think about all the appointments you make to boards. Think about what the governor
I don't
makes.
do background checks on people on the Historic Preservation Commission.
He didn't have any like anything in his background. I'm just saying, like, the fact
if anything,
to say, like,
he probably
Walz knew this guy.
He probably had a great background. Let's be honest. He had no previous crimes. So he probably, and it was a church-going person, right? Yeah, I doubt he had a horrible background if he's a church-going person, right?
Well, he definitely wasn't okay mentally.
No. But I think the point I'm trying to make is that to say that the governor knows all his appointees is just insane.
It's insane.
They make hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands.
Across the entire
state. I mean, the mayor
state?
Makes hundreds.
Dude, thousands across the state. Yeah. There's agricultural boards in counties that he doesn't even think about. He just puts people on, right? Because his people vet him.
Yeah,
they're like,
recommended
Governor,
by so-and-so.
This is a good guy. He's been on here. He goes to every meeting. You know, they get paid $100 a meeting. And he's like, yeah, sure. What the heck, right?
I mean, I think the point of any elected official, like the Mike Lee thing just really got me, is like, look, this just shows how divisive the country is right now, that you have people that think it's a great idea to come and make a hit list and assassinate elected officials. And local, it's a lot different. Secret Service is for the president. Elected officials are out there doing their thing. Gabby Giffords, right? Mm-hmm. Look what happened to her.
Congresswoman got shot in the face.
Yeah. I mean, so.
That was 20 years ago too, man. Over 20 years ago.
Yeah.
25. Yeah, because in fact, Clinton was in office then.
Mm-hmm. It was that long ago?
No,
yeah,
Obama?
Didn't her husband, Mark Kelly, became...
Is a senator from Iowa.
Now he is,
yes,
but at that time he was an astronaut.
Correct.
Right. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
John, what were you going to say?
I don't remember. I think it was something effective like, as an elected official, I mean, how are you not thinking about protection at this point, right? Personal protection. Stuff
I have
like that,
a great security system on my house for what it's worth. Right. I would have, if I got shot, I would have a great video of it. I would. I mean, what else are you going to do, John? I'm going to have a freaking,
we got a panel and everything. It's crazy.
Oh, no. I mean, my security system has always been real good at my house.
Yeah.
And by the way, it's always paid for out of the campaign, which makes sense, because the campaign is the thing that puts you on the front line. So, of course, you get the security system, and it's great. But it scares the shit out of me, this kind of stuff.
It's scary,
but
man,
thankfully for me, I know our cops. I know almost every single one of them by face. And I don't think they'd just send Joe Rookie to my house. It would be like a lieutenant or something knocking on my door in the middle of the night. And I would know, what is going on?
But if somebody pulls out a gun and just shoot, like you said, Tom, this guy's waking people up in the middle of the night. This isn't like noon, right?
You're not on your A game in the middle of the night.
Flashing lights.
Right. By the way, we're trained to go to the freaking door.
Yes.
Like it's part of our DNA.
Yes.
It's like there's a cop in the driveway.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Because he's got the lights
shot
on.
through the door. He shot through the door.
Right.
When they said, you're not a cop. Boom, 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 through the door and got his way in. It's a robbery. This guy's just evil.
This is disturbing, too. So this guy allegedly texted his family afterwards.
Yep.
Dad went to war last night. Wow.
Dad's a psycho.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
I hope they electrify him until lightning bolts shoot out of his eyeballs.
Yeah.
I do,
Crazy
man.
that he's like a God-fearing man who's doing things like this.
Well,
they're the scariest. The super religious are the scariest to me, man. Because the ones that they think they're talking to God, those are the ones that are scary.
Well, they're not afraid of dying.
Well,
yeah, because they're like, God's going to take care of me. But it's like, to me, it's like, that scares me more. If they're like, oh, you're sinning and, God talks to me about you, it's like, oh, crap, there ain't no helping that person. You're in big trouble.
So and some of the crimes that it's a federal complaint. The acting U.S. attorney for Minnesota from that district indicated that there's 6, I think, or 8 counts of federal criminal code violations that they're going to file. He was in court yesterday. We'll see what happens regarding the trial, and then whether they go for death penalty or not, I guess we'll see. Some of them are death penalty eligible.
It's so scary. I feel so horrible for everybody involved. It's very scary.
I think Minnesota's reeling.
Yeah,
for sure.
And I mean, they had a lot of names on those lists, so scary stuff, guys. Let's just pull it together as a country because this is craziness. And obviously, I don't think we're going to pull it together until at least after the midterms next year. It's going to be like this until we get some adults in the room in Washington, D.C.
And it just seems like it's getting stoked from the top, and it just it trickles down.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I mean, like anything we can do to pull back from that, I think is a positive.
Well, even
anything,
even like pardoning all these horrible criminals. What kind of signal does that send? It's like, I'll pardon you if you commit a crime on my behalf, but if you're a Democrat committing a crime, fuck you, stay in prison, right? But if you're a Republican committing a crime, I'm the president. I'll let you go.
One of the shockers
because you're my criminal.
And don't get me wrong. I mean, there's a lot of criticism of Biden's pardons and stuff like that. But one of the shockers to me, and this goes to criminals, Tom, is like the people that attempted to kidnap Gretchen Whitmer. That was a shocker to me, man.
Did they pardon them? I know they talked about it.
Yes.
I don't think so. I'm not sure. Kevin.
John, do you know one way or the other?
I don't.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong on that. I'm sorry.
Case to begin with, wasn't there? I don't know. I read some weird stuff about that case.
Yeah. I'm a fan of Gretchen, so you're not going to get much sympathy from me on that one.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about the pardon. If I
think they were talking about it, Kevin, and then Gretchen talked to the governor. Governor Gretsch talked to the president.
Oh, okay.
And he backed off. That's the way
right.
I remember
Well,
it.
if that's true, that's good
the
news.
way I remember it.
That's good news.
All right, why don't we go ahead and call this one a segment, and then we'll come back, and we got some really good closing segments. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Quick little hitters. I think you'll be interested in. So come on back, and we're going to pick your mood back up. All right, let's start off with the Byway Brewing. A family-friendly microbrewery with a spacious tap room and an outdoor patio serving its award-winning craft beer, a chef-driven food menu, and craft cocktails on draft. Their brewing equipment and production facility offers a unique backdrop for events like bridal showers, reunions, or corporate parties. With their new food truck, they can cater to your corporate and private events off-site. Just off 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit. Discover more at bywaybrewing.beer.
Don't let your business get lost in the shuffle of generic branding and aimless marketing. Trust Northwest Indiana's award-winning full-service marketing agency, The Branding Room Floor. Providing data-driven results to help your business grow in a crowded market is their specialty. From website development and digital advertising to graphic design and branding, The Branding Room Floor will set your business or organization on a clear path to strategic success. Don't wait another day to get started. Visit thebrandingroomfloor.com today.
Prestmer Insurance Agency. For decades, the Ron J. Prestmer Insurance Agency has been located right on Indianapolis Boulevard, serving all your insurance needs. The Prestmer Agency specializes in a wide range of insurance products and services, including auto, home, business, life, and much more. Prestmer Agency serves thousands of people and businesses throughout Chicagoland and the Midwest. Call Ron or Ronnie today at 219-844-0103, and they're here to protect what matters most to you.
Calumet Brewing. Michelob Ultra, the official sponsor of the PGA, is a superior light beer with ultra-smooth taste. This refreshingly crisp light lager has only 95 calories and 2.6 carbs, making it the perfect beer on the golf course or at the 19th hole. Check out the new Ultra Zero with only 29 calories, making it the perfect zero alcohol beer for any time of the day. Head over to the Cal Brew or the Michelob Ultra websites and social media pages for more info on this great family of beers. Enjoy the Michelob Ultra lifestyle with beers and cheers responsibly.
Are you facing legal challenges and don't know where to turn? Look no further than Kuklakis Law, your trusted source for legal advice in Indiana and Illinois. Do you need representation buying or selling real estate? Call Kuklakis Law. Do you need help forming your business? Call Kuklakis Law. Did you get injured in a car crash or at your job? Call Kuklakis Law. No matter what your legal issue, call 219-671-6347 for a free consultation. Who you going to call? Kuklakis Law, Hablamos Español.
Thank you to our sponsors.
Including our studio sponsor, Power in Indiana, Lake County.
You know, Kevin's going to be visiting Europe later in the summer, and he's going to Spain in particular. And
yes,
we saw an article yesterday, and I forwarded it to Kevin. I was worried about my bro Kev, going to Spain, going to Madrid in particular, and everybody in Madrid they're very pissed at the tourists, and they're shooting water guns at them. So I was worried about Kevin. I don't want him to get squirted on.
If it was a water gun, I'll take it.
I want Kevin to get squirted.
Yes. Thank you, John. No, actually, so Charlie's over in Barcelona studying and working.
Is he getting squirted on?
I don't think so because
he lives there. He lives
there. Yes, and he's working.
The problem is this, guys. It's the Airbnbs. We have the same problem in Hammond to a much less extent. Is you have a residential area, and then your next door neighbor decides, hey, this is a vacation home now. I'm going to rent it out to families, and they're going to have huge parties every weekend.
That sounds like the locals are causing that problem, not the tourists.
And they pay more than the see that when you at Airbnb, you're going to get more than you can rent, right?
But the problem is you have these zoning laws that are supposed to not allow that lens. So like if you live in a residential area, you're not supposed to be able to rent out your house to huge house parties and stuff. And that's the weakness in the system is they got to come up with areas where you can't have Airbnbs. You're supposed to be in areas like hotels,
Yeah, and so in Barcelona
this
weekend,
Barcelona.
Demonstrators in Barcelona have taken to the streets with water guns and flares to protest over tourism. They kind of said, like, we're okay with tourism, but it's over tourism. At this point, Barcelona's a city on the southeast part of Spain near the border with France, about 1.2 million residents, I believe, but they get 20 million tourists a year.
Wow.
So think about that. It's
you said 1.2 million people, and they get 20 million tourists a year.
Correct.
In Spain?
In Barcelona.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. So,
but boycott Airbnb.
Can't wait to get there.
But that is a problem. But that's not the tourist problem, guys. That's a problem with the Spanish government. They got to fix it. That's the problem. We attempted to do that in Hammond, right, Kevin?
Yeah.
We have this problem. We had one in particular where it was they took a big house and they converted it into a high density,
40 beds, or
like
something.
a hostel.
I remember that.
Yeah. And we had to go to war with them.
Crazy.
The government went to war, and the whole neighborhood loved us for it.
And I think
that's what you have to do to fix these things.
Yeah, I think that's the protests were in Spain, Italy, and Portugal, and I think that's part of the problem is that the government has to take action.
Yes, it's not the tourist's fault.
I'm just going to a place I want to. Well, one, I'm visiting Charlie, so that I've got a little bit different of a situation. I don't think Barcelona would have been on my list independently, but yeah, you're exactly right, Tom. It's a situation where the government has to restrict so that will reduce the amount of tourists. When you're 20-1, I get why they're pissed.
For sure.
I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
That's my city.
Can you imagine your next door neighbor? I have a house with a big pool, right? And it's in a residential area. If I was just you know what? I'm going to downsize. But I'm going to keep this house, and I'm just going to rent it for parties on the weekends and just blow out the house on the weekends, right?
Yep.
Party house, right?
Yep.
My neighbors would be like, dickhead, right? This is where I live. And now all of a sudden I have a party house that's busy every weekend.
Well, think about this example, right? Let's say my family's been in Barcelona for generations. My kids went to college there. They're now graduated from college and need to find out an apartment.
Right.
Now all of a sudden they can't even find an apartment to live in because everything's Airbnb, and it's quadruple the price of the market rate.
Yeah.
So that's part.
That's
a big
another
problem.
great point, Kev. Because think about that. Because Kevin and I were talking about this yesterday. I have a piece of rental property, and so if you have a rental property, the way they determine the value of that property is based on the leases in that property. So it encourages you to keep it leased up. And if you keep it leased up, then that inflates the value of your property, right? Mm-hmm. So now what we have in places like Spain is these residential houses are used as businesses now, and they're leased up basically, which inflates the value of the property. So if we do crack down on Airbnbs in Spain and places like Spain, like New Buffalo in America, and if we do start cracking down, what you're going to do is totally decimate the value of the property. It's going to drop back down to where it was before, and whoever bought that property is going to take a huge bath.
Yep, that's from the investor perspective, right? So from the just kind of person perspective, it's hard to find a place in places that are high touristed. So
because you're competing with people that
are high profit, and you've got Americans coming in.
Poor people shouldn't live in Barcelona, is what they're saying.
Basically,
right?
Basically,
if you're poor, get the hell out of here, because the billionaires decided to buy up all the housing, basically.
Yep. So,
by the way, I grew up in Napa, California. Everybody knows that, and everybody that I graduated with, 80% of them had to move out because Napa's so damn expensive.
And that was then, or
that
that's
was
now.
Then. That was before
that
Airbnb.
Was then.
That was before Airbnb.
And that was like the Napa that you grew up in. Think about now.
Dude, the Napa now is nothing compared to what I grew up in. I grew up in a normal place. It was a lot like the region where I grew up. Now when I go to Napa, there's a Westin there. There's like fancy.
Well, that's why I think it's funny, because I don't know how many. This happens probably 95% of the time when you say to somebody, I grew up in Napa.
Yeah.
They think like,
I don't even tell them
you're
that.
rich.
I don't even tell them that because they just assume I was rich.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
yes, interesting.
Let's bounce to the next one. This is when Donald Trump was elected, and when he was talking about using ICE to deport people that are in America illegally, he talked about chasing down the worst of the worst, and I think it's hard to disagree with that. If you're here illegally and you're convicted, and you're accused of murder, mm-hmm. I think that ICE going after a person like that is well warranted, right? Maybe sex crimes against people, whatever, right?
Just if you're a criminal, I think that's a good way to start. If you're okay, let's say you're Trump's immigration policy, right? I want to deport millions and millions of all these folks that came in. At least start with the criminals. Right. And let's just get the criminals out. I agree with you. I would think a super majority of Americans are like, yeah, I really don't want criminals in our country.
Like if
legally, whatever.
I'm not a fan of ICE. Okay, let me tell you. Immigration's custom enforcement for the record. But if ICE came to Hammond and said, hey, Mayor, there's like a serial rapist illegal in your city. Can the Hammond police assist us ICE agents? We need to go into this and we need cover, basically, right? To get a bad guy out of the city, I'd be like, whatever you need. You need SWAT, whatever you need, right? Because, of course, we're going to assist our federal partners, right?
Yeah.
That's the funny thing, though, is like people talk to you now, they're like, is Hammond helping ICE? Well, we're not going after people in shops, I could tell you that. But if it was a serial rapist, of course I'd help the federal partners.
And I don't think you've ever denied a request from your federal partners for assistance.
No. Yeah. DEA is regularly in the city of Hammond. FBI is regularly in the city of Hammond. U.S. Marshals regularly in the city of Hammond, right? So the funny thing is people are like, don't help ICE. It's like, well, what about DEA? They're like, of course you help DEA. How about FBI? Yeah, of course. But ICE? No, you can't help ICE. It's like, what the fuck is that?
Right.
They're federal agency. It's a police agency, right?
The question is, what is their purpose to be in town?
That's right. Yeah. So if they're starting off like, hey, we're going to go after criminals, you're going to find a lot of sympathy from people like me. I don't want criminals in my city, right?
I'm with you. I think it's super majority of Americans would say absolutely. We want to make sure that folks that are here illegally that have committed crimes are out. Get them out.
So now it didn't seem like the numbers were high enough going after just criminals, right?
That's what happened. According to the article I read about Stephen Miller's meeting, he's like, we can find 30 people on the streets of D.C. right now. Let's go get them. You don't need a list.
Just chase them down.
Chase them down.
So
literally, that's what happened.
So we have a statement here. ICE agents, I think this is in Southern California. Is that true?
It's in Oxnard.
Oxnard, California. Yeah, because Gavin was talking about this. Yep. And the ICE agents come up to a field where there's a bunch of people out there picking, and they start chasing into the field, and they have video of the ICE agents chasing these,
yeah, here you go,
potentially illegal immigrants. They're chasing them through the fields.
Yeah.
Yep. And they're putting an ICE car through the field. Like
there's a car driving on the crops, the ICE truck driving on this farmer's crops to get these poor people that are out there picking strawberries or whatever they're picking because they're just trying to put goddamn food on the table, and these fucking pricks.
Well,
first off, the farmer They're driving on his crops. What the fuck, man?
How did they Did the farmer call him, or is they just
no,
show up
I
to
do
random
guarantee
farmer
that.
Just
boys?
an
No.
educated
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. He
So-
just I mean,
So they just showed up to this guy's private property and just started driving all over.
Yes.
it?
Well, so this has happened. Like I saw in
Napa-
Nebraska, they went to a chicken facility, and there were literally like lunch pails on the tables because they went in at lunchtime and arrested 80 people. And so it's like
when I grew up in Napa, Kevin,
Yep.
during September, during harvest, everybody knows you get a pipeline of workers. Even when I was a kid, from Mexico straight to the fields, everybody knew.
That's 40
And
years
then-
ago.
This is 40 years ago. And then when the harvest is done, they go back home. This has been going on since I was a little kid in California.
And I think that's the thing. And I have no idea. I don't know if the person they were chasing in the field was a criminal, not a criminal. But the point is that now all of a sudden
He's running away.
Who's going to? Well, I
would
would run away if I was a
too.
criminal
Hell
or
yeah,
not,
dude.
John.
If I was straight up Tom, I'd be like, "Fuck this! These
Yeah.
guys are chasing me, right?"
Well,
mean,
there's a lot of people
why?
questioning if these are actually ICE agents because they're covering their face and their uniform
Dude,
isn't like.
could be psychos from Minnesota doing it.
It could just be randos. I mean,
So this is I was reading about this. It's a $2 billion, probably more than that, industry in Oxnard area. Tom, you know about the middle of, because it's not far from Sacramento, right? This middle. What is it? What do they call the middle of
Central Valley?
Thank you, Central Valley. And it's just basically where we get a ton of our fruit, vegetables, and other things.
Oh yeah.
And there's people that have been farming these fields for 20 years.
Yes, Kevin.
Or more.
Kevin, if they were doing it 40 years ago in Napa when I was a kid, you think it's not 90% plus Mexican immigrants picking these fields?
And
They've been doing it for generations.
Right. And I just don't see this as high on the list, and I think the optics are real bad for the administration. It just shouldn't. I don't think these folks should be high on the list because no one's coming to work tomorrow
Yeah, I
at
know,
this
dude.
field.
By the way,
Agreed.
if this field doesn't get picked, who's going to pick it? We're going to get it.
how's that farmer going to make money?
And why do you
That's
think,
right, Lindsay. How is that going to get this product onto the market to help keep our prices low?
And why do you
Because
think-
if that product doesn't make it to the market, then all of a sudden the prices go higher, right?
Yeah,
Which
because
is
there's
bad
not as
for
much
inflation.
of a supply.
Right.
And so Trump's gone out and said, oh, maybe we got to take it easy on the farmers. I'm like, dude, now you're picking and choosing. It's like, okay.
He
That's what he
has.
wants. The world
He has.
according to Trump.
So here's the follow-up on this. The Trump does a truth post where he says, we've heard from our, people we really like in hospitality, agriculture, and we're going to slow down these raids on these industries. So MAGA base goes crazy about this because, we voted for mass deportations.
Right.
And suddenly,
Without thinking.
Trump now, just yesterday, changes his mind again.
Flip-flopping?
I don't
Yes.
believe it. I don't believe
So
it.
it's a taco. Trump always, what is it? Trump
Trump always chickens out.
Trump
Yeah,
always chickens
so this
out.
is the latest.
Taco.
So he now has changed his mind again.
Farms
said,
and hotels.
no, let's go after farms and hotels again. There is I don't know
It's
what is
so
going
bad.
on,
Something
man.
internally is going on.
And
in
it's
that.
not just this topic. It's
Yeah.
Iran-Israel.
Yep.
Just all these mixed signals.
And that's not good. And by the way, it goes to what Tom's original point was about the market.
Yeah.
Like inconsistency
Not just that.
is not
inflation.
good for markets.
We want
and-
inflation to go down because Trump wants interest rates to go down, not up.
Well, if you don't let the farm fields get picked, guess what?
Yes.
Inflation's going to keep rolling because prices are going to go up.
The man seems a little short-sighted just in anything he does.
It's just not thought out.
Yeah, he's not thinking of the long-term repercussions of
Right.
things.
I used to disagree with that statement, like his first term.
Yeah.
But now I can't help but
You
think
can't
there's
deny
something
it.
to that, man. I don't know what is going on right now.
I don't either.
The thing this is doing for Gavin Newsom, though, is it's making Gavin Newsom look like the obvious next candidate for the Democratic Party for president of the United States. And Kevin, your brother's been in this studio with us a number of times. Kevin's brother is from Southern. Matt Money Smith is from Southern California, Orange County, right?
Yep.
And to me, Matt is a typical region guy. Grew up in a Democratic family, went off to Southern California, right, which is a Democratic state, and he's sort of disillusioned. Is that sort of?
I think that's right. I think he has been disillusioned by a lot of policies under Newsom, and he's kind of was down on him when he was in the studio last.
Big time.
I think he's kind of seen. I mean, you got to remember, we talk about this all the time. A Democrat in Indiana is a lot different than a Democrat
I'd be
in
like a
California,
Republican
right?
guy.
Right. So I think for him, he's probably
Democrats for
in
him
the
are
middle
like-
somewhere. He's independent, very independent thinking.
But like Matt, Democrats are absolutely insane because he sees the far left and they're crazy in California.
Yeah, I would say I'm sure he sees some Democrat. Hopefully, he doesn't think all Democrats are insane, but I think he's kind of in the middle.
He doesn't think
and
all
he-
Democrats are insane.
Yeah,
he
and
likes me. I know
he
that.
does. He absolutely
Right.
does. And he
It
likes
kind
me.
of reminds me of Bill Mayer's
Yeah,
ideology
sure.
a little
Yes,
bit.
I agree with
Very
you.
common sense.
Yes.
There you go.
Right. Yeah.
All right. So anyway, I think I want to talk to Matt again, Kevin.
Yeah.
We got to get him. Why don't you get him on the air?
Well,
I want to talk to him about this.
What are you
It's
doing,
like,
Kevin?
Tell your brother to show up.
Yeah,
I
man.
will.
What's going on, Kevin?
get
But
him
like,
on.
look at this.
The
Like,
Cooler Smith? What are you talking about?
but like, what I'm
Bring him
saying
in.
though,
Easy to
Linz, is
beat.
this.
Low bar.
That when I want to know what Matt thinks when he sees this Gavin, because this Gavin looks like he's going to be the next president of the United States.
Let's play this.
So just moments ago, Donald Trump made a major reversal in his mass deportation policy. Indiscriminately, he's been sending armed agents into farms and fields and ranches all throughout California and increasingly across the country. I was in Oxnard, California yesterday. I met with a 12-year-old boy. Tears pouring down his face. His mom and dad snatched by agents. They were working the fields for over 20 years. He doesn't know where they are. He has no family in the United States. He's here alone, a sixth grader. Donald Trump may not care about him, but he's finally listening to you, calling out these indiscriminate acts of cruelty.
I have a young lady that works for me. I'm just going to keep it at that, okay? And she is a dreamer, okay? Her parents are not dreamers. Her parents were here illegally, right? So she's much older than that. And I'm not going to say how old she is, okay? Just to keep her...
It's enough details.
Right. But like, so there's a possibility in a situation like hers where her parents could be deported and she would literally be in America on her own. And this young lady is old enough to sustain herself, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if this happens, off the top of my head, I know somebody like that right now. So imagine in California how many examples there are like this. And this little 12-year-old had both of his parents deported.
Yeah, and I think one of the things
Crazy, man.
That hit me on this was, you know, Trump's administration likes to say, like, 11 million people came across the border under Biden, and they keep blaming Biden's immigration policies. This kid's parents have been here for 20 years. They've worked the fields every year. They're not a threat, okay? Like, to me, those are the people, it's like, let's get a plan to get these people citizenship. Let's figure it out, which is what the track we were always on. If you go back and look at Marco Rubio in the Senate when he first got there, that was what he wanted to do. And so to me, I think it's just like, let's get back on that track if we can, because the track we're on right now just doesn't feel good.
So also over the weekend, you know, while all this is happening, Donald Trump also had a birthday. And, you know, just like all American presidents during their birthday, he wants to have a military parade in his honor. So he calls Trump, the commander-in-chief, calls tanks and all these, you know, military vehicles from all across the country get, you know,
$45 million worth, or 400
trucked by rail, basically, to Washington, D.C. for Trump's military parade. Just like Kim Jong-un, you know?
Yeah, I mean, they couched it. I think someone must have got to Trump because they couched it very carefully. And he very rarely sticks on script. He was reading that speech right off the teleprompter, and it was really couched in the terms of the Army's 250th anniversary. Right. And he was real careful about that.
We've never done this
to
before.
me.
It happened to be right on his birthday.
Yes.
He's such a fool. He's such a little man.
Here's what Gavin had to say about this.
Saturday in response to this military event.
Do it peacefully. It's a vulgar display. It's the kind of thing you see Kim Jong-un, you see it Putin, you see it with dictators around the world that are weak and just want to demonstrate strength. Weakness masquerading as strength. To fet the dear leader on his birthday, what an embarrassment. Honestly, that's about as small as it gets. How weak do you have to be to commandeer the military to fet you on your birthday in a vulgar display of weakness?
John?
That's
the
pretty
next
strong words.
That's the next president of the United States, man.
There's no way you don't
dude.
believe that.
Okay. All right.
There's no
Keep
way.
laughing. You know what? When Donald Trump was putting his name out there in 2014, people were laughing their asses off. Like, get the fuck out of here. I'm telling you, man.
We're going to see what happens.
Donald Trump fucked up so bad by empowering this guy. He fucked up so bad. This guy's going to be the next president, I'm telling you.
He's going to be in the mix.
Dude.
Okay.
The Democrats lost this election because of partly
I agree.
how
I'm not
left
saying
they
it's
were.
smart. Well,
okay. And this guy, as left as they get.
Who's going to be your candidate next time? It's
going
to be
J.D.
Vance.
Vance.
J.D.
Right.
Vance. This guy against J.D. Vance.
Rubio.
He'll fucking tear J.D. Vance's apart.
But it doesn't mean he's going to get the votes. I don't know.
It's
I don't
all
know,
good.
man.
We're gonna
Because
get
the
Hammond
Democratic Party is not voting for J.D. Vance. There's anybody that's even moderate is not going to vote for J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance will get the hardcore MAGA, and then everybody in America is going to be so repulsed by the last 4 years of what Donald Trump
So
did.
that's a good point. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah.
It's not about who the Democratic
I'm not
candidate's
talking.
gonna be.
I don't think Gavin is the best candidate. I would rather see the guy from Kentucky personally, but the guy from Kentucky is nowhere to be found right now.
Yeah.
Gavin's everywhere.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. The one thing I read about the parade that I thought was a good point was like, you know, when we do military parades, it's about victory. It's because our guys and gals are coming home from war.
Landed on the moon.
And it's about peace, right? So, it's just a weird thing to have. I mean, if you can couch it in terms of the Army's anniversary, great. I think we should celebrate the fact the Army's 250 years old. I just don't know if it's great to be doing it in front of, you know, the president on his birthday.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with it's 250 years. I get it. The birthday thing's a really bizarre coincidence. But my biggest problem is like the cost of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like their big thing was like Doge just came in, made these
Right.
cuts.
Yeah.
Oh, but here's $45 million for a parade.
Right.
It's just-
Good point.
And I thought Rand Paul had some good comments on that. He goes, look, I'm not a big fan of spending the money on this because, you know, that's kind of where he is. But
I have a question. Now that Trump and Elon are on the outs, what's going to happen with Doge?
It's still going.
Yeah,
Still
I think
there.
they ratified
Is he
it.
still like involved with
No.
that? or
No,
what?
no, he's out. And then Vivek is out too. So Doge is like just a bunch of tech bros running it now. So
But the parade was, I didn't watch it at all because of the whole, like, I just don't agree with this thing on the budget side of it. But I heard it was a total bust. Is that like it was super
I heard the
boring?
same.
Like it was really boring.
Like a lot of pictures of Trump looking bored. They're like, you know, like doesn't this guy? This guy wants to be on his phone. He wants to be on his phone so bad.
Yeah,
And it was like hours and hours of it. By the way,
and it was sponsored by like Palantir, you know, the
Yes,
master,
yes.
the new Halliburton, by the way.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
There
the
were,
stands weren't really filled.
Well, to speak on that, it's because a lot of people on TikTok said that they were reserving like spots because they gave you like a max 2 or 3 tickets.
that's great.
And then they didn't show up.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
no.
Really, Linz? I
That
didn't
was a
even
big
hear that.
movement, and everyone was
That
like, you know,
is-
the last time we did this,
When did
like,
they do that? They did
okay,
that-
Yeah,
so they
you're
did
right.
that for one of his rallies.
That's
They
what
all
it was.
reserved tickets, and then nobody showed up. And then that's when Trump started
great.
to go after TikTok, and now we're worried that they're going to go after TikTok again. But
I
we
love
did it
it.
again.
like
I
that
love
one.
it. I love it.
So there's some photos here of the parade. Doesn't look that busy.
No.
And then there's some more stuff on here that was pretty funny. Just
I mean, why do people go to parades? So the candy could get thrown to them. I guarantee you the
Do you
soldiers
think
weren't
he got
throwing-
any candy?
John, go up
No.
to 5 there. I just want to
I
read
would have
that
thrown
one.
something
Or
at him.
6. I'm sorry, 6. Breaking. Chinese officials review video of Trump's parade and conclude the U.S. is no longer at risk. I thought that was good. There's a thing on here where they have the Trump. This is good. Did anyone tell bathroom Gestapo Nancy Mace about these all-gender toilet porta potties at Trump's parade? They show the porta potties. The Russians are trolling Trump. Captions: how Trump imagined his parade / what he actually saw. And then
I won't play.
it won't play.
That's about it.
There's like a squeaky old tank.
Oh, that's what I heard. It was a lot of old tanks.
Yeah.
And I get it. You're kind of going through the eras of the tanks.
Right.
But
it
I
was
don't
just
know.
kind of a funny juxtaposition. And then this is another one. The look on your face when your $45 million military parade flops with a tiny crowd, and on the same day, millions of Americans march against your administration. So, good trolling on X.
Yeah.
So,
So anyway,
Always good trolling on X.
yes, agree.
that was it. That's,
All right.
That's our show.
Made
That's
it.
our show for you. We did it. It was another high quality episode, medium quality entertainment, as you've become accustomed to. We want to say thank you to you for listening, our sponsors for funding this, Kevin Chandler Smith for just bringing it as he does every single day.
Congratulations on your Papa era.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Lindsay, thank you very much, sweetie. It's great to see you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for coming in again and being your bright, positive, shiny person you are.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Jay Vez, appreciate you.
I'm here.
Another great episode, no glitches, and coming from,
Congrats, John.
and coming from the locomotive. I did this one without my iPad, by the way. So if I was
You
a
did it
little
with
off,
my iPad.
I did it with Kevin. So thanks for listening, everybody. We love you all, and we are going to be back on Friday. I always do that. Back on Friday with another high quality episode. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you Friday. Lockpod is out.